And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Attack on Titan: The Last Stand. Now this is based on an anime series, Attack on Titan. I've watched this series. I thought it was something else when I first saw the name. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I was like, oh, anime. I'm not a big anime fan. But the first episode of this just was like, wow. First of all, this is not a peaceful, nice, cute anime thing. It's very, very serious. It takes place in some unknown time. I think it's in the future, where most of humanity lives behind these walls, and there are giant titans that are trying to break through the walls and then just eat people. I mean, really just eat them. They walk around and eat people. They're these big, sexless creatures who walk around and just grab people and eat them. But there are folks who fight them, and they use a system. I forget the name of the system. It's like this backpack with things that fly out attached to buildings, and they zoom around like Spider-Man and try to attack these titans. These titans are hard to kill. In fact, the only known way to kill one is to get on the back of its neck once it's weak and hit the nape of the neck with a sword, and then the titan will fall. Very hard to do. Titans definitely have the advantage. That's what this game is. This game is from Antoine Bauza and Ludovic Maublanc. They are well known for making cooperative games from Cryptozoic. I'm not 100% on Cryptozoic games, but these designers are great. This is a one versus all game where one person's playing the Titan and the other people play the heroes. Here's how it works. So in this game, one person's going to take on this giant titan who's about to eat somebody, but if you look at them, they do look like they're singing a nice rock anthem. But anyway, they're going to stand here, and you have different levels here, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. There's also a tower that you build, which has levels 3 and 5, with 3 little plastic cannons on each level. At the bottom of the titan's feet, you're going to put a pile of citizens. These are just normal folks who this titan is trying to eat. The person playing the Titan is going to pick which type of Titan they're going to play. So they might want to play the basic, the voracious, the destructive, or the deviant. Whichever one they take, they're going to take all the cards for that Titan. These are kind of the action cards that they're going to be able to play over the course of the game. The other players are going to pick from different heroes that are in the game. So they might pick Levi, or Erwin, or Aaron, all these different heroes. These are different people from the comic book / anime series. Each of them has a special ability, and they have 3 health. Now, the goal of the player playing the Titan is to take one of these players' health and put it down to 0. If that happens, any one player dies, they win. Or to eat all the citizens. As each citizen gets eaten, you turn it over. If they eat all the citizens, they win. Or if they destroy all the cannons on the tower. 3 different ways to win. Now there's going to be, in the middle of the table, there's going to be a bunch of what are called tactics cards. And these are going to be shuffled and placed face up. The heroes are going to be using these different tactic cards to attack the giant. 2 of the tactics card, Eradication and Neck Slash, are the only ways that the heroes can win. For this to happen, the heroes have to have people in 2 different spots on the Titan. So one on level 8, one on level 6, here level 8 and level 5. And the Titan's health, which is kept track of down here, has to be in the kill zone. The Titan can never just be killed straight up. They have to do a neck slash or eradication to take out the giant. So these tactic cards can be shuffled and placed face up. The giant also will have a card that matches him, which gives special abilities that the giant can do, the Titan can do. So each player is going to get some dice in each turn of the game. Before they roll the dice, the giant is going to pick 2 of their tactics cards. They're going to place one of them face up, so maybe they'll say big grab and place that face up. And they might pick another one. They're going to pick another one and put that one face down. So players can see one of the 2 tactics that the giant's going to do. Players themselves are going to start either at the giant's feet in the game, or they can start on one of the levels of the tower. They're going to be trying to move around, jumping from level to level, from tower to tower, to take out the Titan. So then after players see the Titan's cards, they're going to roll their dice. If they roll any dice with the Titan's head, these dice are immediately given to the Titan. He's going to be able to use those in a moment to activate special abilities that the Titan has. The players can re-roll these dice as many times as they want, except for the Titan heads. But remember, every time you re-roll, you're going to be rolling more Titan heads possibly, and giving more dice to the Titan player. When heroes are done and are satisfied with their rolls, then each of the Titan's cards that the Titan plays go off unless the heroes play a certain number of dice to stop it. So this one here would remove a heart token from each hero on level 0. But 2 of these symbols will make this card go away. Here, remove 1 die for the current turn and heart token from each hero on level 6, 7, and 8. Again, that will happen unless the players play these. And so the Titan special cards will be usually eating citizens, possibly destroying cannons up here, doing damage to the heroes, knocking the heroes down to level 0. So the heroes have to determine, most of the time, the symbols needed are the same symbol, 2 of them, but there's also tactic symbols, and you'll need a certain number of those based on the number of players in the game to stop these. So once a Titan plays these 2 cards, he has to set them aside, and then the next turn he'll have to pick other cards. Maybe he'll pick these 2, for example, and then get these back in his hand. So he cannot play the same card 2 turns in a row. The Titan will, again, can use these special abilities, but then the players are going to be using their dice. Now, some dice, this side, is going to let the heroes move up or down a level, although they can also jump from the bottom of the tower to level 3 to level 5. They can go from level 5 to level 6, so they're going to be moving around the giant, trying to get in the best positions to take the giant out. If they're on one of the tower levels and they roll cannons, they will do 2 damage to the Titan for each cannon they roll. However, you can't do more damage than the number of cannons there, and the Titan's going to be destroying them as time goes by. If they roll the sword symbol, they'll do 1 damage to the Titan, as long as they're on its body somewhere, attacking it. This symbol doesn't really do much at all, but it helps stop the Titan's cards. And then the tactic symbol is going to be different things based on sometimes the player's special abilities. Remember, the player's special abilities, this guy doesn't give his Titan symbols to the giant, but he also can't re-roll them. This guy here can take tactics as fighting and back and forth. This player here can give dice to his teammates. This person here, cannon symbols can be used without him being on the tower or her being on the tower. So they all have different special abilities. These symbols can also be used to change the tactic card. See, the tactic card is down here. This can be face up, and players need to complete the 3 conditions. So you need 2 tactic symbols here, a person on level 0 with a move die, and a person on level 7 with an attack die. If you do all 3 of those, you bring 4 citizens back to play if he's been eating them. This one here, each person recovers a health. Again, you need to be in these specific spots. But the next slash is the one that helps you win the game, as does eradication. So you can use these symbols to cycle through these cards. Some of them are going to hurt the giant, like this guy will immediately make the giant go to maximum damage. Everyone's on the bottom level and hitting the giant. This one here gets rid of one of the action giants, the Titan's cards from the game. This one here, for the rest of the game, Titan has to play both cards face up. So players are going to be cycling through these, whether to do ones that are recovery type, to go for the win, or to do ones that are going to make the Titan weaker for the rest of the game. So they'll be cycling through these tactics cards and trying to accomplish them. And that's pretty much the game. Players take the Titan out, they win. Titan eats all the citizens, destroys the cannons, or kills one hero, the Titan wins. Okay, a couple things I want to address. First of all, the theming. Many of you who are watching this have never heard of or seen this series. Many of you who have not seen the series after me explaining it or maybe looking at it probably don't wish to. It's a very violent series. The theme here is extremely strong. As in, if you like the anime series, I really think you'll like this game. It really comes out, it makes sense. It kind of plays out as one of the battles that they have against some nameless Titan. And I like that. It's fun, it's interesting, and it's also very fast. If you don't like the theme or don't care about the theme, I still think you'll enjoy the game. The game is kind of a tactical one where the heroes are basically trying to attack the giant. Now, I like this game, and there's a lot of reasons I like it, but let's do about things that I'm not so keen on. I don't think the 2 or 3 player game is as good as the 4 or 5 player game. In the 4 or 5 player game, everyone fights against the Titan, no problem. In a 2 or 3 player game, you only have to accomplish one of the goals on a card to take out the giant. And that's a little easier to do than 2. I'd say, for example, a 3-player game is much easier than a 4-player game. 2-player game is a little harder. But it's like 3 is easiest, then 2, then 4, then 5. Because with 5, well, no, then 5, then 4. 4 may be the hardest. But I don't mind that it's easier or harder, but you just need to go in knowing that. I wish they had balanced it slightly more. Also, the components are great. I love the giant on the table, and the tower, and the dice, and all that stuff looks good. The standees are okay. But, I mean, the whole thing looks good, and it's really quick. I mean, 30-minute game. I'm not sure if you're going to play this game, like, all right, who here wants to have the least fun? That person should probably play the Titan. I guess at least fun is not the best word for it. The Titan player has a lot less decisions to make. They essentially are going to be picking 2 cards to play, which is interesting, but the heroes can cancel them. And then using the dice that the heroes roll to use your special powers, of which you have 3, and which 1 will only go off if the heroes really push their luck. So the Titan player is more of a facilitator. They get to do choices, but many times it's pretty obvious. The heroes, though, have a lot more options. How are we going to move around a giant? How are we going to fight? There's a lot of talking as you roll the dice. And it has that push your luck element to it, so you can roll dice as many times as you want, and you're communicating with other people. Okay, I'm going to roll this dice. We need this, but we can't afford to give the guy another thing. This Titan keeps healing, which is annoying. And the 4 Titans are very different, so I think there's a lot of variety in the box as is. This is no groundbreaking game, but it feels fresh. It feels different. It feels intriguing to me because 1 versus all games, there's not a ton of these games out there anyway, and usually 1 versus all games are very big and long. This one's a short one, like I said, 30 minutes. And you can kind of see the action as you're rappelling up and up the giant and trying to get to the back of the neck, and the giant's shaking people down, and meanwhile eating citizens, and you're trying to protect the citizens, and also shooting cannons at the giant, which don't seem to be doing anything, but we got to manipulate the tactics card to the right spot. All right, let's do this maneuver. And so I think that's cool. So if you like the series, this is an easy thing. Get it, for sure. If you don't like the series, it's still an intriguing, interesting 1 versus all game that I think a lot of people will like. Again, I think it's best with 4 players or more, 1 person to Titan, and at least 3 or 4 people going up against them. I think the artwork is done, well done. I think it looks cool on the table. People will stop by to see what you're doing, and it's fast and interesting, and there's very few games, again, in this genre that are that quick. So that's Attack on Titan, The Last Stand. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.